A solution is available today that solves or offers the opportunity to solve many of these issues, product data management, which we've talked about before. Just in passing, though, I thought it might be interesting to note that you may have heard of another similar system called PLM, or Product Lifecycle Management. Just to give you a little differentiation between the two, PLM looks at the entire life cycle from birth to death of the product, and frankly has a very wide-ranging interpretation of what it actually is. PDM, which we're concentrating on today, really focuses on the process required during the development cycle, and principally the engineering of the product from initial design through product release to production. Okay, the product data captured, by the way, during this development cycle is tremendously useful to downstream processes. For instance, the data is obviously useful for manufacturing planning, purchasing, and communication to ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Systems. Just take a look at some of the numbered items on the slide. All these are important, and depending on your business, some obviously may be more important than others. I believe that any one of these could easily justify the case for a PDM system. Having all six really makes this unassailable as a decision point. In fact, if you look at the kind of business your engineers are probably doing today, you may not have an electronic PDM system, but they're undoubtedly doing all of these functions manually, obviously much less efficiently and much more prone to errors. Some of the key points here are the ability to collaborate, use the correct model data instead of what you think might be the correct data, reuse existing designs, which turns out to be a tremendously underappreciated benefit because you can pick up an electronic design, alter and modify the parts, and come up with a completely new design relatively quickly, sometimes often without even invoking any CAD graphics. ECO, engineering chain process, is always an issue. What's the right ECO? How do we get it approved? How does it flow through the system? And one of the points I'd like to point out is protecting your intellectual property. Typically, systems today just usually transfer via email or maybe even FTP, and you have no control of what happens to that data once it leaves your facility.